Listen, guys. Folks, if we ever meet and become friends, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I don't fuck robots. All right? Just right off the bat, I'm letting you know. I know robots are all the rage and people are trying to figure out ways that they can have sex with them. I ain't having sex with no robots. All right? I don't trust them. I don't believe they are worthy of my trust. I'm not a scientist, but I've seen the Terminator 3 times. How do I know some sex robot isn't going to trick the President of the United States into falling in love with her? And the next thing you know, we're all slaves to sex robots. Which sounds awesome on paper, I'll admit. But it does not make for a sound democracy. All right, and I know 30 years from now, or 40 years from now, or 50 years from now, or 60 years from now, or 70 years from now, or 80 years from now, or 90 years from now, or 100 years from now, or 110 years from now, somebody's going to look at this video and they're going to be like, well, he's okay, but he has a lot of problematic views when it comes to robots. I don't care what society's like then. Okay? I'm going to be like Dave Chappelle, but with robots. All right. That's a bit I used to do. Came up with it like 7 years ago. And then a few years after that, I added the Dave Chappelle stuff. I don't really do it anymore, but I'm bringing it up because I heard a Patton Oswalt bit that runs with the same idea about, being woke in the future. Because we're going to have different interactions with different beings and, should we treat them with the same respect and dignity that we're supposedly supposed to treat one another with? He has the same idea. I think my bit's better. And I think my bit's better is because he's trying to make a point, and my bit is utterly pointless. And it's not that he's trying to make a point where he fails. It's that I don't believe his point is sincere at all. I don't think he believes a word he's saying here. And it comes across.
You know what doesn't age well? Woke. It really doesn't. I'm woke.
If there's one thing that ages well, it's woke. Martin Luther King was hated by 63% of Americans, and now he has his own holiday. I think it ages like wine.
Think. But you know what? I won't be someday, and so will all of you. Be woke, be open-minded, just don't pat yourself on the back, because that will bite you in the ass. Because everyone that's getting canceled now for not being woke was woke about something. They just couldn't keep up with progress. Progress will always fucking steamroller you.
No, it won't. The lack of progress is what steamrollers you. Case in point, Sinead O'Connor. Listen, if you apply the ideas of empathy and justice, you can pretty much be on the right side of any issue. It's not that difficult. Of course, there's always a learning curve. But this sounds like something he's saying to appease his right-wing comedy friends. It's the Joe Rogan effect. The right is dominating comedy, and it's becoming stifling to the point where this guy has to lie in order to make his fascist friends feel better about themselves. This is why this is my problem. I have a difficult time lying about what I believe in simply to appease another's ignorance. It's something I've always struggled with my entire life, and it has always bitten me in the ass. And it's precisely why I'm banned in every comedy venue in Las Vegas right now. Because somebody says something ignorant, and maybe I can keep my mouth shut for a little while, but eventually they keep pushing, and I gotta say something. It just comes out. Oh man. Yeah, this sounds like something. This literally sounds like a bit that Patton Oswalt wrote while being held hostage by Joe Rogan and Dave Chappelle.
Are you? I'm very pro-trans, very pro-gay marriage, gay rights, and pro-abort. But no. That's not what I'm saying. Is that is going to blow up in my face someday. I'll be doing comedy when I'm 70, and I will let slip something that I won't be able to keep up with. I'll be like, I don't think people should fuck their clones. Like, boo! That'd be some weird, like... No, wait, I'm pro-trans.
Okay, so let's apply those instincts of justice and empathy, which is an instinct in most human beings. The idea of justice and empathy to this scenario. First of all, I find it difficult to believe having sex with your own clone brings a power imbalance issue, where it's difficult to believe that in the future the pro-clone fucking position is the woke position. So we have to adjust the scenario. We have to add all kinds of different things to this scenario. First of all, let's say there's some kind of regulation that says that prevents that power imbalance between the clone and his or her creator, so-called creator. Let's imagine that. There's some kind of regulation, some sort of device that prevents that from happening, so that clones can be consenting adults, and that they are integrated into society fairly well, but not so well. I mean, there's still discrimination because this is a woke position. So, but they pay taxes, they vote, they're in sitcoms, you know. They go to arm wrestling competitions, they, you know, stuff like that. And okay, so fine. We get into the part of nobody says Patton has to have sex with somebody he doesn't want to have sex with. All right? And clones should be able to have sex with whoever they want to. A clone has the right to pursue a romantic relationship that is fulfilling with that person. All right? I mean, think about it though. You know, is it really is having sex with your clone really that bizarre? Honestly, I mean, if Johnny Depp dated Kate Moss back in the 90s, and back then they were practically indistinguishable. All right? I've given myself 1,000,000 handjobs. And I'm not alone. People all over the world, they give themselves handjobs. A lot of those people are underage. Nobody bats an eye. So, what's weird is that he's using a hypothetical to make his point. Because he can't think of any situation right now where wokeness has gone too far. He cannot objectively think of one, so he has to create a scenario that happens in the future. And it's for the sake of a bit, I will admit, but it's also for the sake of his pals. It's also because of the Joe Rogan effect. It's because he can't really address the issues that are causing consternation among him and the comics he's friends with. And this is the stifling nature of stand-up today. Left-wing voices have to lie. If they want to make money, they have to lie to make the right feel better about the evils that they are pursuing. And also, for your information, I'm not being entirely truthful. I'm going to fuck a robot the first chance I get.